I've been back against the wall, it ain't nothing new. I know the money's gonna come, we gon' make it through. If they ever had a doubt, then they never knew that the kid doesn't follow the rules cause he's supposed to. Back against the
I want
wall.
people to take away hope. I think I want people to take away encouragement, like inspiration that my story is a very unique story. Like I came here as an immigrant with nothing. Me and my family were on welfare for 5 years. My dad wasn't in my childhood as a kid. By the grace of God, I've been able to figure out a way to make it in this system that not everybody can figure out how to make it in. I think if I could do it, I think anybody has the potential to do it in this era. And so I want people to be hopeful. I want people to be encouraged. I want people to know that it's going to get better if they're willing to keep pushing forward and keep pressing into whatever it is they want to do with their lives. My name is Ruslan. I'm an independent hip hop artist from San Diego, California. I've been doing music for a couple years. I run a little boutique label called King's Dream Entertainment. Got a couple artists signed to me. And my goal is to encourage, empower, inspire people through this music thing. I grew up originally from the former Soviet Union, so I grew up over there until I was 6, and then me and my family moved to Southeast San Diego and immigrated to a very urban area that was predominantly Black and Hispanic, and I was like one of 3 white kids at my elementary school, my middle school, and that's how I kind of got exposed to hip hop culture, music, and fell in love ever since then.
Are you a Christian rapper?
I'm a Christian and I'm a rapper. If people call me a Christian rapper, I'm cool with it, So it's whatever people want to label it.
That's real interesting. I mean, because I don't really hear a lot of cursing in your music.
Yeah, it's all clean.
So is that planned out, or are you real when writing and creating? Are you real choosy?
Nah, I just kind of try to let my life reflect my art, So like I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I try to make music that reflects that, So I don't want to make anything that I can't play with my 3-year-old son in the car, you know what I mean? So it's really that, and I got a lot of nieces and nephews and younger kids that I'm close to, and I'm considerate of that. And then it's also, there's a verse thing that Jesus said, which he said, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what's in your heart is going to come out through your art. And, I want to reflect what's in my heart and who I really am in my art, and not like put on a facade or try to, do stuff just to appeal to a specific group of people. And this is who I am.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel like that mean, in a way, people might overlook you because of that?
No, I don't, because people don't overlook Chance. People don't overlook Kanye when he does, Father Stretch My Hands and Ultralight Beam. People don't overlook Kendrick when, he does entire songs and records about his faith. So I don't think people would overlook that, unless you're like completely like, I don't rock with anything around God. Then I think, yeah, if you're in that box. But I think if you have a palette that's open to faith and spirituality and God and Jesus, I don't think it will make you, like, the music's not polarizing or preachy or condescending or judgmental, in a sense that like, I'm not trying to push people away. I'm trying to pull people in from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the gospel is more relevant than it's ever been. For me personally, on the daily, still needed to settle in. Excuse me, those on cool guy raps. I grew up, then laughed at where the cool guys at. As adults, they still trying to bring do-rags back. In public, debating like where Tupac at. If you talking about Molly, these on cool guy raps. I grew up and laughed at where the cool guys at. Never did prescription drugs cause we knew that trap. If you like it slowed down, these on cool guy raps.
Yeah, like we learned early on, like, not to mess with prescription drugs, not to do cocaine and meth and whatever. And now, it's the cliche thing where like the dealer became the fiend, and we celebrate that and have been celebrating that probably like past 5 years or so. And so I don't think addiction is cool. I don't think drug use is cool. I don't think being an alcoholic is cool. I don't think any of those things are cool. And that is oftentimes what is the narrative presented in culture, is that, yeah, like we gonna turn up and we're gonna do all these things. And I don't think that that's beneficial. I don't think that that's helpful to people. And even if you got a lot of guys that it literally is just a gimmick. Like, I don't know how truthful it was, but Future came out and was like, yeah, I don't do drugs, and like his record is called like Dirty Sprite.
Right.
Like, went on record saying he doesn't do drugs, but then why would personify Percocets and all these drugs if that's not who you really are, you know? And I think it's become a costume for some people, and I think for other people, like, they really are depressed and addicted to drugs, and that's sad, you know? So I don't think we should be glorifying that.
I feel like there's two sides to that coin. Cause you have the, you know, the artist putting it out, and then I feel like as well you got the audience that kind of eats it up and accepts it. You know, how do you feel about that? Cause I feel like the blame can't be totally on the artist.
I think people love to watch train wrecks happening in front of them. You know what I mean? So like, you want to see something bad happen. You want to escape, because escapism is real, right? So you want to escape, and there's and then I think people just want to see crazy viral world star hip hop type stuff. You know what I mean? And I think that is also a component of it. And so yeah, of course you can't ignore the listener. I think that the tricky part is when you are intentionally making music that's reckless for a younger audience, and there's corporations behind you, there's media agencies behind you that's intentionally marketing to 15, 16-year-olds. It's no different than the Logan Paul thing, right? I don't know how familiar you are on Logan Paul. Like, he knows he has an audience that's 13, predominantly 13-year-old kids. Yes, his audience is consuming his content, but there's also his responsibility as a creative to say, like, oh, I'm not gonna put out a video of a dude committing suicide and laugh about it. Like, that's his response. And I think in hip hop we have, like, that's a great metaphor for where hip hop is at. Like, you have a bunch of Logan Pauls who are completely reckless with what they're personifying, and then you got a bunch of kids eating it up. And then the distribution channel feels conflicted. YouTube feels conflicted. And at some point I think you will have some of these guys at these corporations, at these labels, develop a conscience and be like, yo, like, this is kind of whack. You know what I mean? Like, how many more kids are we gonna have overdose and you know, die of lean and die of, you know, just taking a bad batch of Xanax? Like, how much more of this do we have to experience before we're like, yo, like, this ain't culture. Like, this ain't culture, this ain't cool, you know? It's sad. And then having family members that came from addiction, came from the mass incarceration and the revolving door of the justice system and all that. Like, I'm just way more sensitive to it, you know, and the energy. Like, music is a vibration, it's an energy, and I think we're all putting something out into the universe. I'm not gonna put or co-sign anything that's like harmful, you know. I think it's sad.
Any labels approach you?
A little bit. I mean, we've had discussions with a lot of different labels, but it's never anything like serious, you know what I mean? And then it's also like, you know, the way these deals are structured right now, it's just not the most beneficial. You know, you get 50 bands up front, 100 bands up front, and you sign a crazy split where you're getting 20% profit share, 15% profit share, you know, on top of, like, then they want a percentage of the merch and the show money and all these kinds of things. And don't get me wrong, major labels can do a lot. They can do a lot with resources, but having had some friends that have gone down that system, you really gotta essentially have your own team and your own structure and your own capital to actually execute. Even with the major label behind you, you still gotta know what you're doing and maneuver. I got a close friend of mine that's on Columbia. One of my artists got signed to Interscope, and I'm not that impressed at this point. And financially, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because I don't need to take 50 grand, 100 grand up front if I'm already sustaining myself off my art and I'm providing for my family off my art. We'll see. I think it's just ownership, profit share. Like, I'm not giving up my publishing, you know what I mean? Like, and I think the longer you hold out, you're either just gonna build your own machine like Tech Nine and those guys did, or you're gonna build your own machine and then get the bag like Nipsey Hussle and those guys did. And Nipsey Hussle built his own thing independently and then got a $5 million bag to go to Atlantic, or Chance has just held out, you know, and Macklemore held out, you know, and they're in great places in their career. And if that doesn't work, like Macklemore, if he hadn't popped with thrift shops, Macklemore would have forever been just a cool upper middle class lifestyle, touring, making a couple $100 grand a year for the rest of his life. Pop culture may have never knew who Macklemore was, but he already had that going for him, right. You know. So I think it's just what your goals are. Like, if you're trying to be on radio and you want to be a superstar, then I think major labels, you got to consider that. But then there's also hundreds of artists. Like, Interscope has 180 artists signed to them. You know, there's only 365 days in a year. So someone's getting shelved, someone's not coming out, someone is choking up and not releasing music. So I think, you know, what if I go to a major label, if any artist go to a major label, like, what can you do different to make yourself a priority at a major label?
And I think fans don't understand how, you know, it could be a very passionate, like, oh, how come he's so underrated, but really, like, the artist really holding out until they want to build their worth, you know, and then get signed that big, or you're gonna give me what I want, boom, I'll sign to you, or we'll sign this partnership.
I think Russ is a great example. I think Russ did a great job of holding out, you know, and built all the pieces. He signed with CAA, which is his booking agency, and then did the 50-50 profit share with Columbia, and probably got a big bag for it up front, retained all of his masters that he put out independently, so that money is coming in every, you know, like that, like that's the way, like that's how you do it. I think now with Spotify, Apple Music, I really do feel like if you make music good enough, eventually people will check for it, and then you will build a relationship with Spotify directly to playlists and get popping on different playlists and get popping on different, you know, those different, not obviously not Rap Caviar, that's like the big one that's owned by the major labels, but there's so many other little playlists. You get on Beast Mode, you get on one of these playlists, and you can have a song pop, and before you know it, like my man Ruslan, like he popped on Spotify, and he's consistently making good money just streaming, you know? He's not even touring yet, he just started doing merch. If you can make great music that's compelling and speaks to an audience, I think that's what we're all trying to figure out.
Paul's Dime.
Yeah, Paul's Dime, yeah.
Can you break that down for people?
Paul Russell is a friend of mine. He's actually on the intro too. So Paul's Dime and Dozen intro is the same track. And Paul's Dime is co-produced by me and Paul Russell. He does the hook and the verse, and he's just a really cool artist from Dallas, Texas, that is at Cornell University right now in upstate New York, and we just got some stuff cooking. I can't give away too much because then I give away the whole setup. You know what I mean? But yeah, Paul's Dime, that's the joint. That's funny, yeah, you're one of the only people that like ask that. You know, people really don't mess with that record like that. So that's yeah. That's one of my favorite records too. Like it's the most, and I think his verse is amazing. Paul Russell is super dope though. He's on my artist Jet Trouble song, a record called Youth, and then we got some stuff cooking. That's super dope. Hey, check out Indie Jones 2. I think you guys will really like it. Check out Indie Jones 1. It's all on Spotify, Apple Music. You can go to the website, kingstreament.com. Follow me. My name is Ruslan, RUSLANKD. If you just search Ruslan on Instagram, it comes up right away. And just stay tuned for more music. You know, we got other artists that I think are amazing. John Keith, if you love lyricism and you love bars and you love just great music and you're into artists like J. Cole and Dreamville, you're gonna fall in love with John Keith right away. If you love a different style and eclectic blend, check out Jet Trouble. He's super dope, amazing. And just stay tuned, stay locked in for more music.
I thought you said you love me. Indie Jones, yeah, part 2, yeah, don't ever call it a sequel though, yeah, unexpected, baby, you respect it, baby, or you gon' get all your speakers blown. Wanna say hi to the haters now, oh, I got love for my haters now, y'all gon' make all of us famous now, I pull up, they all wanna wait around, I rap like I got a chip on my shoulder, but the truth is I probably got a few, seen too many friends switch up around the time I finally got a view. I finally got a clue, this rap thing is really similar to the worst parts of being in high school. Trying to figure out what I got myself into. Everybody got a fit, that's a part of the process. Never been around so many men, I gotta gossip. Now sitting here thinking all of my options. Why would I dumb it down if I had already lost them? Huh? You ain't never had no answers for me. What? You must wanna